April Fool's Day tomorrow, April 22nd. April 22, 2022. Class C, Chateau, 20 foot long or something, fits in regular space if you can use the grass areas like that next to it and back half the ass end over the grass area, because it does stick out on the back, but you can back them in very conveniently. One thing I will say about it, it has the pulling power on that E350, I believe, equal boost, I think it is. I don't want to go back into the fence because I already delivered it before. I forgot to make a video of it, but I'm in Savannah, Georgia. Took it 900 miles from Indiana down to Savannah because I wanted to take a different road than what I've been taking going out southwest. And it was interesting going through the Smoky Mountains, and I remember now from my expedited days, well, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm glad I did it. Did it just to change things up for the week. I didn't make really any money on it. Just did it more so to change the week up, change my life up, rather than take the same route that I take every single week. Or that's what it feels like, because I've taken those Class A and Class B last time out southwest. Hope you can hear me over the wind and the rain and that guy in there working on stuff in that shop. But I was very impressed by the get up and go power of that going through the Smoky Mountains. Very impressive. You could just hit the gas pedal and go, and it didn't feel like you had a house in the back. For all the Class C's that I've taken, that was interesting, you know, and most of the time they dragged a little and you have to let all the small cars go by and everything. This thing kept up. I will give it that. 20 foot. That is, in terms of a Class C, if I was ever gonna buy or get a Class C, I personally wouldn't, but if I was, that's the type I would get, because it had the get up and go power to get you around, and it felt like a normal vehicle, and you could back, as long as you backed into spots, it would take up the same parking spot as the truck next door. I mean, it hangs out a little in the back, but you're able to back it up further and fit it. For a Class C, it was easy enough to negotiate getting around with it and everything, and it wasn't a pain in the ass to find small parking spots and gas stations, etc. So I enjoyed the trip down there at least, but I didn't make that much money on it. Just did it for the trip. Like and subscribe, leave comments, check the merchandise in the video below, and we'll catch you on the flip. Peace. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about when I say this one didn't make any money. It actually somewhat put me in the hole, but it's also my decisions on buying some higher priced food and then buying the hotel today and stuff like that I didn't necessarily have to do. But let's go over the numbers. So, basically it was 900 miles from Indiana to Savannah, Georgia, roughly, and they paid $900 with a little bit of a bonus on it, but basically $900. We're just gonna go by the numbers, just make it simpler. Paid out front was $442 up front to get it here with fuel and food. That right there put me in the hole, because the fuel alone cost me $530. However, I screwed up on the gas part, and I left it with the unit with a little more gas than I should have. So technically that was about maybe $30 I donated on fuel this time around, because I wasn't watching the pump and didn't expect the pump to be as fast as it was. And I was at like $4.30 a gallon or something when I filled it. So I screwed up just because it pumped it faster than I thought it was going to. I wasn't paying attention. I was washing windows, so I ended up donating $30. That was an expensive fix, but anyway, all in all, it probably cost me about $500 worth of fuel to get it here. However, they only paid me $442 up front to do it, but I had money from the previous one that I just took at Class B before that out to Phoenix, and that one I made profit of $600 on, I think, altogether, so I had extra money anyway. So I just used it to counter this one instead of taking an advance out. The subtotal for that, after the fact, is $88 in the hole that I got here with, and then food was another $100 worth that was not counted in what they paid me. So I went $100 in the hole on that, went $10.50 in the hole on tolls, for a grand total of basically $200 worth of in the hole, right as it sits. But like I say, I had money from the other trip that I did for him anyway, so I just used that money to counteract this one for now until I get paid for that one. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of deal. I'm just waiting. My settlement should be $540-ish this time around. You take that $200 back out of it, and that made $340. But then you take the Amtrak's $288 worth. That's, I haven't bought it yet because I'm waiting to get paid. And it's an Amtrak from here, from Savannah, Georgia to Washington, D.C. to the Capitol. And then I have to take another one and pay for another one because they're like 2 separate trains, and I won't do it in one ticket. But anyway, 2 separate trains, and take that other one from the Capitol Limited from D.C. to Elkhart. And that altogether is $288. Puts me in the hole again. The $90 hotel that I'm in right now, which I didn't have to do, but like I say, I had the money to do it. Goshen IN, right down the road from where I delivered, would put me in the hole another $90. And so at the end of the day, all said and done, I'm in the hole about $50, give or take. When all is counted in and done and paid for and yada yada. So that wasn't too bad. Last trip before this was $600 plus. This one put me in the hole about $45 all in total. But then my food receipts also include steak, and then this hotel room. Oops, I forgot there's another hotel room too that I used. So technically I'm in the hole $145, I guess, because I forgot about the hotel room that I first used when I took this Class C down, because it was too cold to stay in the Class C at night. Well, I figured it was. I just had the money, so I used it. And I stayed at the Hampton Inn in Circleville, Ohio, when I first came down here. So I'm actually $145 in the hole on this trip if you count the hotels. But like I say, I only spent that money on hotels because I had it to spend it on it. But I thought I would show you kind of the numbers of what this one ended up being. In my hotel room, there's the one bag that I have, my shoes, socks, a little bit of stuff I'm playing with. And then here's your beautiful view of this like hot and muggy Georgia day. I knew Georgia was going to be muggy anyway. But when I got down here, 80% humidity was a little too much for me to handle, so I came to a hotel room so I can use the air conditioner, which is not running right now for this video, but then I'll turn it back on. I just thought I would show you the ending trip, I guess, of it, and then I will put a thumbnail of the Class C. Since I was not able to show you the tour of it, I forgot to take the video of it before I turned the camper over. I forgot to make a video for YouTube, so just thought I would show you the hotel room and then show you the numbers. And show you, this is how it basically goes. You know, you go from one trip where you make $600 and to another trip that puts you in the hole $145, give or take. But that's also my decision. You can be a lot more spending suave, or whatever you want to call it, where you don't spend every nickel and dime. You can go to fast foods and eat cheaper. You can go to Walmart and eat even cheaper than that. You can stay in those rigs and, you know, sweat to death or sleep, or I mean freeze to death in the sleeping bag or whatever in the rig if you want to. But since I don't have any other bills, I only have $77 storage fee and $100 worth of 2 phone lines a month to pay. You know, $177, $200 worth of routine monthly bills, and then everything else just goes to me. My own food, my own hotels, whatever I want to get. And the whole point of coming out here to live this life is to enjoy it. So every now and then I get a hotel room and enjoy it. But I just thought I would show you the numbers, in case you're thinking about going into this, you know, and kind of what to expect. Because if you don't have a tow card, your transportation costs can come up. I forgot to also, thinking of it just now, I forgot to include $13 worth for the Uber that I had to use to get, well, I didn't have to, but I used it instead of the city bus. And then tomorrow I have the choice of taking the city bus downtown to Amtrak or another Uber. But like I say, I have the money to do it, so I just used it anyway. But just in general, I probably will leave between the Ubers and everything else and the food tonight that I haven't counted either, forgot about that. Probably about $200 in the hole on this trip, give or take. But that's because I had the money to spend it. Like I say, I had $600 from the last trip, $200 in the hole from this trip. That's not bad. I'm still somewhat making money, and mostly I'm just took this trip to enjoy this view right here, so to speak, as I drove all the way down here, those kinds of roads like that. Basically tall trees and yada yada. And a different kind of scenery than going out west. And I got tired of the same roads going out west, so I figured, you know, what the heck, I'll just take a trip Savannah, Georgia sounded nice, and so far, you know, it's a little bit hot and muggy, but it is a nice change in scenery, and that's why I took it. You know, I knew I'd at least break even, if not go in the hole on this trip altogether, because of it being a Class C. And today's prices, you know, that I saw actually decent prices. I think the highest I saw was $4.45 a gallon or something, which is not bad for this trip going this way. I thought it would be up at least in the $5 range. But anyway, I just thought I would show you the view that I get to look at tonight and appreciate, since I drove all the way here for it. Like and subscribe, leave comments, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.